Howdy guys, Michael here again from GuitarGate.com. And if you guys do a lot of jamming, a lot of improvising, you ever get caught in a rut, you ever feel stuck and you feel like your licks just aren't working or you're playing too silly or for whatever reason, you just can't come up with anything good and you feel like you're just forcing it. What I do in those situations and what I look at as a jamming or improv basic, a fundamental, like improv 101, is to stop focusing on what you're playing and start focusing on when you're playing. The key distinction here is thinking rhythm first. So instead of simply saying, I know I got these hot licks that work. So someone calls me up at a club or whatever in a jam, or if I'm just jamming with my friends, and I know, okay, the song's in A minor and I got some licks in A minor, but you try to force them in there and it's just not flying, right? Here's what you do, and here's what I always do, and what always works for me whenever I'm struggling and feel like I can't play anything new. And that's listen to the groove first and hear where, like if the guitar was a tom or a snare or some drum, right? Listen to where it would come in. Then start with playing that beat, that feel, that groove with just the root note, then add maybe one or two other scale degrees. Start with the pentatonic, the 3 or 5 or a flat 7, depending on if you're major or minor. But stick with the groove first. Then expand, add more notes. You can, grow out of that groove. You can expand on it. But the point is that if you sit back and you take a breath when you're jamming, when you're improvising, playing with people, especially that you haven't played with before, think about the beat. Think about where you were coming, right? Think about where. Then start with the root, add a couple more notes, and build from there. I promise you, you will come up with stuff that, one, sounds good. You're not going to fall on your face. You're not going to screw it up. It's going to work. And two, you're going to come up with stuff that you haven't come up with before. Because as guitar players especially, we are so guilty worrying about what to play, what scale, what note, what lick, what cool trick, instead of when to play, where to play. Here's an example. So I'm going to play a rhythm in A minor, just a 1-chord vamp to keep it simple. And I want you to just listen to where you would come in and see if you can clap it. Check this out. I'm just listening. Now you might hear something much different than I hear. I hear different options in my head. But right off the bat, when I hear this, I hear doom, 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 right? Now I'm going to start with just the root, and I'm going to establish that groove. And yes, I'm serious. If you do this in real time on stage, it will work. So here we go. So starting with A. Since I'm in A minor, I'm going to take my A minor pentatonic scale, and I'm just going to grab a couple extra notes, and I'm going to keep that same pulse and build on it. Here we go. Still thinking very much just rhythm first, where I'm coming in. Now I'm going to add more to the scale, more of the same notes, and vary the rhythm up a little bit, but I'm letting the rhythm, I'm letting the groove dictate where I'm coming in, not what I'm coming in with. Key difference. Check it out. Now, that's just one example. But what if you hear something completely different? Same thing applies. Check it out. What if you hear this and you hear ba da da ba da 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 ba da 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 da. Right? Whatever it is. Start with the root. Then add a couple notes. Right? Now, what if you hear something even different than that? Like ba da da da, ba da 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 da, ba da da da, ba da 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 da. And that's it in a nutshell. Start with hearing where you would come in. Don't think about what you're coming in with. Start with the root, because you're not going to go wrong with the root. Add the pentatonic scale, just 2 or 3 notes, and then build from there. And then when you do bust into your licks that you know, that you've been keeping up, the ones that you know are for your fire licks, right? You're going to play them more smoothly and with a better groove. Your rhythm will be better because you've anticipated that lick with all your rhythm, right? You've been working towards that culmination of when you start going off from a rhythmic perspective primarily. Your notes, your harmonic is secondary. Now, there's nothing wrong with thinking about your scales and notes first. This is an exercise, this is an example that I find works extremely well, especially in situations when you're playing with people who might be a lot better than you, or you've just never played with before, or you're playing in a genre you're uncomfortable with. I mean, we've all gone on stage and completely crapped the bed. You don't play an instrument and have not had that experience. That is absolutely just, you do it. Everybody does it. Even great players do it. But if you want to get better at improvising, you want to get better at jamming, you want to get better at bridging the gap between rhythm and lead guitar, think rhythm first. Listen to the groove. Listen to where you hear the hits come in. If you were playing a drum or something, right? Listen to where in the mix you would come in. Then start with that, with the root, add a couple notes, and then build from there. And I promise you, you will be so much more confident, you'll have way more fun, you'll sound good, and you'll come up with stuff that you've never played before. So give it a shot, and if you haven't yet, please come over to guitargate.com. You can check out my own personal learning community where I have all my other courses. We go live once a week, and it's a really cool environment. So come check that out. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you next time.